Huh?
English.
This is an English class, right? This is not a Thai
But
class.
I never have no ear here.
You have no ear?
Ever.
You have an ear right there.
Never here. In English.
Okay. You've never heard it.
Yes, never.
I've never heard it in English version. But could you read it? Could you read the version?
It's I can't sing. I can't sing.
You can't sing? I can't sing either.
So,
Just follow. Go ahead, start. November. Right? That's how I pronounce it. November, full moonshine, Bakratong. November, full moonshine, Loikatong. And the water's high in Buffalo River. And Loikatong is here. Sing.
Teacher. ถ้าภาษาไทยไม่จะลองได้อยู่ใช่ไหมมาไม่ใช่ภาษาอังกฤษเท่าไหร่
Okay, all three.
Wrong เดี๋ยวเขาลอง
Maybe the
ถ่าย
whole
ให้
class.
เดี๋ยวกลุ่มให้ Water.
Everybody.
Teacher, I will say Thai version which will know little of the song in English version.
I might need to sing the English version.
But I will confuse about rhythm.
I think that's a really good way to learn English. Yes.
By song.
By songs.
ใช่
Okay. Wish. Maybe we'll get Wish to write it on the board. Okay. You're gonna get all blue. But พอพูดอังกฤษเข้าจังหวะน้อยถูกยัง I'm willing to sing. So if I cannot sing. I cannot sing. Do you go to karaoke? Karaoke?
Sometimes.
You've gone sometimes? You? Yeah? So we're going to have karaoke in the class.
Yes.
มีใคร
ดึงขึ้นไปดึงลงมาเน็บก็ได้เน็บแค่นี้ก็ได้พี่ ไอ้หลังเลยนะแดนซิ่งเอามาไม่รู้เลยใช่ไทยแดนซิ่งเป็นว่ามีสองรอบแล้วด้วยชุดทาง
That's how you dance? Yeah?
Well, you can get up and dance for us while we
ไม่
sing
ต้อง
it.
เขียนยาว
ใช่ใช่ใช่ใช่ใช่ใช่ yes ไปไปไป
ไอ้กระต่ายแห้ง
อย่าลองลองลองลองสมัครเลยเชื่อ how you say this song about this nation
That reminds me of, huh?
not dance
Not dance?
ไทยแดนซิ่ง
not dance
โนจะ
only like Thai
ไท
dancing
ย
for
แดนซิ่ง
ใช่ใช่ Thai dancing
Thai dancing
Thai dancing?
ไทยแดน
Okay.
ซิ่งใช้มือก็ได้พี่เป็นการไล่ลำเรียกไทยแดนซิ่ง
It's almost like in Hawaii, you know?
Yes,
in
No, Hawaii is
where-
no
No, I thought that's what they did. Oh, you're right. Yes, you're right. You're right. It's not
just
that.
just
Mhm. Okay.
and how to move and
Yeah.
slowly move
บอกแล้ว
Do you learn that when you're a child? Do you teach children how to do that? The girls?
the school
The
teach
school teaches?
yeah because it's Thai culture
Okay.
Thai culture
Because I think, the reason I asked, I think I was in the Song Tao on the weekend. I think it was Saturday or Sunday. And there were children in there. And I think they were teaching them how to do that. They were, I didn't know what they were teaching. But it looked like they were teaching them. At first I thought it was, what was it, Tai Chi?
Tai Chi
At first I thought it was Tai Chi, but then I thought, well, that's not a Thai exercise, right?
Tai Chi is like the martial art
Okay, yeah, it's more of a Japan, right?
martial art is no not Japan
It's not Japan?
China
China, oh, okay, okay. Yeah, China. Mhm, okay.
how to control the breathing
Yes. Mhm,
and how to balance the body
okay. I wanted to learn how to do that when I was here, and I never learned. Maybe one day we'll have a class, and you can teach everybody how to do that.
ไทยชีนี่คืออะไร
ไทยชี
มวยจีน
ไทยชีไทยเก๊กไทยเก๊กสมไทยเก๊กนะ
ไทยชีมวยจีน
ไทยชีมันเป็นการแบบผสมผสานอ่ะมันจะลวดไล่ลำช่วงท่าจะอ่อนโยนกว่าเยอะ
เนี่ยเล่นอยู่ไทยชี
18ท่า
ไทยเก๊กไทยชี
18ท่า18ท่าอย่างเงี้ยพี่นะ3ชุดแล้วชุดละ18ท่า18ท่า
จริงชุดนึงเนี่ยมันมี20กว่าท่าแล้วก็ตัดมา
I have a feeling that this is going to be a tough
เห็น
act
ไหมอ่ะ
to follow. A tough act to follow. Have you ever heard that before? A tough act to follow. Okay. Yes. I have a feeling. I feel, okay, that this is going to be a tough act for me to follow. A tough act, yes, yes. Mhm. Have you heard that? A tough act to follow?
Like acting
Acting, yes, acting.
oh I know
You know?
like to follow
Yeah.
ใช่ใช่ act ก็คือแบบ
แสดงออกมาแล้วไม่ได้ทำตาม
ท็อป T.O.P.
T-O-U-G-H.
T.O.U.G.H.
Tough, tough,
ที่ท
tough.
ำทำภาพ
It sounds like T-U-F-F, right? It sounds like tough. That's not how you spell it.
T.O.U.
T-O-U-G-H. tough act
คะแนนเรา
to follow.
thì follow F O W
F-O-L-L-O-W.
ห้องก็มีไว้รูปนี้เราจะเจอเรื่องกันในห้อง
Yes. So I have a feeling that what we're going to do is going to be a tough act for me to follow, okay? Because what I have after this is going to be boring, right? It's not going to be fun like this, okay? So you'll hear somebody on a stage, right? And maybe again, it's an actor or a comedian, okay? The performer that was in front of them, okay? So maybe you have two performers on stage, and the first performer does a really good job. The first performer just let's see, I'm going to give you another idiom. Blows the lid. Blows the lid. Okay.
LIST list or
Yeah.
list.
Blows the lid. Okay. Yes. So L-I-D.
Oh, lid.
Okay. Like the lid on a jar, right? Okay. So the first act blows the lid off the jar. Okay. Just does a great job. Okay. So then the second person, maybe they're not as good of a performer, or their act is not as funny. So that person may come on stage and say, that was a tough act to follow. A tough act, A-C-T, act. Yes. There are so many idioms.
Yeah, so many idioms.
Yes, so many.
ช่วยกันนะจ๊ะ
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
November full moon shine.
And the water's dry, below April and the cold. Roy, roy, is here, and everybody's full of cheer. We are together and the promise is the home. As we push away the rain, we will see a better day. Oh yeah! Finally. Perfect.
One more time.
So what does this mean? Okay. November full moon shine, and the water's high in the local river.
The crown is the canal.
Canal.
Okay.
And the
Không
canal.
băng lộ canal.
Okay, the canal.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Is there a reason that the water is higher?
Yes.
Higher. Yes. Because when you have a full moon, the water's higher, right? Yeah. So you know your English. Okay. So everybody's happy, right? We're all together.
At the top.
Mhm.
At the top.
So what does it mean? The below
So the better days are in the future. Better days are ahead of us. Okay? That's another idiom. Another idiom. Better days are ahead. Okay? Ahead. Now, better days ahead. Yeah, that doesn't really explain anything, right? I mean, what does that, if you take the words apart, right? Ahead, okay? Better days ahead. Better days in the future, right? Okay. So if we look up the definition, ahead, okay? What's that going to tell us? So ahead, in front, right? When I look up the definition of ahead, it's in front of me, not behind me. In front. Ahead.
Like a go ahead.
Yes. So we pray we would see. Okay. We pray, for the future.
We'll see the future.
Could we say forward?
You can say forward, exactly. Yes, forward. Because if you think, when you're looking, when you see, okay, I cannot see behind me, right? I see forward, I see ahead of me, right? I'm just making all this stuff up. I'm improvising. But that makes sense, right? Does it make sense? Okay. What are you reading?
Tough as old boots.
What is it?
The idiom.
Tough as old boots. Yes.
Not easy to chew. It's not easy to chew.
Not easy to chew. Tough as old boots.
Yeah. Idiom.
When you think of leather over time, it gets very tough, right?
Yeah.
And you can't chew. Now that's an idiom that you would not hear people say too much anymore. Okay. Maybe an older person, maybe in Texas, okay, where they wear cowboy boots. But it wouldn't be a common idiom that you would hear from a young person in America today. They just don't know that. When they have old boots, they throw them away and buy new ones, right? Okay, so should I erase this or do we want to sing it again? English.
One more time.
You sing.
Yes.
One more time. You sing.
I try dancing.
Well, I think we should do it one more time since you spent all that time writing it, right?
Okay. You can
Okay, who's gonna start?
Teacher Tom.
November full moon shine. Water's high and the river. Love, is here. And everybody's full of cheers. We are together and from each other. As we push the way we will see a better day. Okay, very good.
No.
Okay, no more fun. No more fun. Two words. Well, this is three words, but okay. When to use the word for or to. Sometimes I hear somebody using the word to when they should be using the word for, and vice versa. You know vice versa? Vice versa? I think it's vice. Vice versa? Vice versa? Do you know that? Have you ever heard that? Vice versa? Somebody has to have heard that before.
Teacher, why did you say versa? S-A, not versus.
Versus?
Versus.
Versus. So,
Yes.
two syllables. Versus. Versus. So it's versus. Yes. Versus.
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 V. Here's the V. Versus.
Versus.
Verse.
Versus.
Ver.
Versus.
Not W. I'm hearing W. Ver. Ver. Yeah. Versus. Versus. Yes. Mhm. Yes. So, who could tell me what vice versus means?
Converse.
I can tell you, because I have it on my dictionary.
Converse. Yes.
It's contrast.
Yes. How about in a full sentence?
It's a compare two things. It's
Yes.
different
Mhm.
or
Mhm.
better.
Yes. Used to say what you have just said is also true in the opposite order. Okay? Okay? So what I was saying is, used to say, vice versa.
Used to say that what you have just said is also turned in a
True?
opposite. True in a opposite order.
Yes. Mhm.
Oh.
So what I originally said, okay, what I originally said was sometimes I hear people using the word for when I should have heard to, okay? Vice versa. Sometimes I hear people say to when they should have said for. Yeah, so it's true for the opposite. Yes. Can you give me a sentence using vice versa? I just gave you a sentence. You could have repeated the sentence I just gave you. Okay. Well, my question to you is, do we want to talk about these two words and look for a rule, you know, when it's proper to use the word for or to? Or maybe you already know this. Maybe you already know when to use each of these words, but sometimes, you know, in English, when you're trying to speak, you know, the brain doesn't always connect with what you really want to say, right?
We want to learn.
What?
Please hold me the road.
Okay.
Let me guess.
So you want to talk about this a little bit?
Okay.
Do you?
I want also.
You would like to? Okay. Okay. All right. Well, I am not an expert.
Expert.
I'm not an expert. Okay. So I think this one, I want to. Okay. I want to go. Okay. So I want to go to the market. Right. So, yes.
I want to go to the market to buy food. For I say in my opinion.
Okay. Any other opinions?
Yes.
I want to go to the market and buy food.
To buy food for.
Okay. So